Younger people of Reddit. What are you tired of hearing from older generations? Go to school, get a job, get married, have kids, retire, then die. Anything to the effect of young people can't have back pain or any other physical disability. Like, dude, I wish being in my 20s made me immune to being injured. But that's literally just not how the human body works. Yup. In my 20s also, and I have severe back and neck pain from a car accident. Anytime I mention that I'm hurting, which is all the time, but I only say something when it's so bad I can't move, traumatic or too young to know real pain. I was in a car accident with my dad, and my dad threw a fit about how much pain he was in. How we need X, Y, and Z, etc. The doctor came in and told my dad essentially that he was fine, but I had a jacked up back. My dad would not believe it. My spine was literally bent in the wrong direction, and my dad wouldn't believe it was possible for me to be more injured than him. He actually started pretending the injuries I sustained were his and the minimal injuries he sustained were mine. As a 29-year-old, tired of older people telling me I'll understand joint pain, tiredness when I'm older. I'm disabled and chronically ill. I have had bad joints since birth. Like, it's great that all your health problems are a result of your age, but mine have been around and will worsen because of that. My mom and I got into a fight over housing affordability. Your father, 55 and I 53, worked very hard to afford this house, $175K, and you make more than we did at the time we bought, $1,992. Not the house now is worth about 1.5 M. My mom didn't work and my dad made $100K/year. I make $150K and houses in my price range are $600K 1 HR plus away from where I want to be and less than half size with less than half the lot. Your parents bought their house at the best possible time. The income to house price ratio hadn't been that low for like a century and now is exponentially worse. I am 44, but I still feel like I am young. I am tired of hearing pretty much everything my generation says. I don't understand when everybody else just suddenly morphed into their parents. Yeah, I've run into that too. It's kinda horrifying, isn't it? A few years ago I had some acquaintances who are a couple of years younger than me about those lazy millennials, by which they really meant Gen Z, and how immoral they are, and how we had it harder back in the day. Like most of us did. Life in the 80s and 90s was simpler and calmer than now, and we had a lot more advantages and less chaos than the generations that came after us. Right? Every day I thank my lucky stars I did not have to be a child/teen in the age of modern internet and social media. It was bad enough that MySpace was becoming a thing when I was mid-high school. 34, I'm sick of hearing about how young people just spend all their time on TikTok. How they have stupid dances. How they're just staring at screens all day, blah blah blah. Yes, they do all that stuff, but we had stupid dances when we were younger. We sat in front of the TV all day. I get to see someone with square eyes. Also, hearing about how kids/young people today have no respect for their elders. MF were doing the same that people today are doing now. The difference is, everyone has a camera in their pocket. So I'm in the middle generally at my job. The young kids do some dumb stuff. They show up late more often and take more days off. They get caught with headphones in. The older generation is way worse. They complain constantly. They punch in early but don't start working until well after they are supposed to. They take extended breaks. They take way longer to train, and the worst of it, they constantly try to get other people in trouble. They're pretty and ridiculous. Give me 10 Zoomers before you give me a damn boomer. Hey, and if we go back far enough, there's the funky chicken and the 1950s Woody the Woodpecker dance. I'm not kidding. There was even a high-pitched song that was the rage during the 1950s. Plus, Alvin and the Chipmunks came out during the 50s and only got widely popular when they rebooted it during the 1980s. We just always like stupid stuff. Going to have to disagree with you on this one. There are a lot of kids now who are completely glued to their screens every waking hour they aren't in school, and have been since they were babies being handed iPads with cartoons on them. Sure, previous generations watched TV, but nowhere near what's happening now. So many kids aren't even developing personalities or learning how to carry on conversation because they are just being sucked into the screen. I think it's a real problem and is definitely different now than it has been in the past. I don't blame the kids, though they were raised with the device. Now the first part of this is wrong. I teach high school. We didn't have screens and AirPods in high school. They do. 8 additional hours of potential screen time. We had to share TVS with parents, at least I did. If I didn't want to watch their adult show, I had to kick rocks, literally. Kids now never disconnect. Ask a teenager to tell you their screen time hours on their iPhone. Numbers in the double digits aren't uncommon. No one wants to work anymore. First of all, no one ever wanted to work. That's why it's called work and not fun. Second of all, maybe it's that no one wants to work at your job that lists itself as entry level, but wants 5 years of experience and a master's degree, along with being able to work 12-hour days at minimum wage. Not just that. You put yourself out there time and again. And when you finally get the interview, I know the job. I know the kind of worksite I will be around. I'm not 16-18 and stumbling my way in here, so I would like to get straight to the point. Pay. I need steady hours and a pay that is fitting for the work I am doing and the conditions I am doing it in. I have to be able to safely cover rent and my other bills. It says hiring at 13-18/HR. Why? Is that for someone who doesn't know what they are getting into? I know this job is dangerous, and I would like a fair pay. I'm looking for 17.25 to start with raises coming later to end up around 20/21/HR. What? You can't. I've seen your workplace. I know the job you do. I know what I would have to clean and maintain, and I can do it. I'm asking for fair pay because I've seen where I will be working and the kind of labor I will be doing. One hire for that pay because it's not worth it. This is a steel mill. You literally make fresh steel to ship out. I'm not going to break my back doing hard labor and not get fair pay. That's what it comes down to. Companies don't want to pay a fair wage and people don't want to be taken advantage of and treated like anymore. When I was your age, I already had 5 kids and 2 grandchildren, or my granddaughter is your age and she already has 3 kids. When are you going to give you mom some grandkids? I'm 30. Not that old, not that young. But this kind of comment, definitely old for me. I'm so tired of older ladies saying this. I think I wasn't even 18 when they started. They don't accept any reasonable answer that isn't a "I'm working on it," a "maybe later," or "I'm doing my best to get a steady career before having kids," or "we are saving." Gets them on a rampage saying some BS about kids not costing a thing and that I'm getting old or that women were born to be mothers or whatever. So I started being rude. Sorry, but not sorry. When you're older, you'll agree with me FFS. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're always right or you know the answers to all my life's problems. You grew up in a different time period, with different problems and different social views. Your problems might be similar, and you might be right some of the time, but that is no excuse to shut down every logical point I make against your beliefs with this line. Frankly, the worst part of it all is it's such a hassle to get a good job. It's like shopping around and they can't just take a resume and be done with it. You have to fill out this BS over and over. What's the point of our efficient modern technology is we waste it on inefficiency entrenched in a computer-illiterate hiring force. 70% of jobs I go for are pushing through the social and habitual differences between me and a boomer.